and seafood dinners at great prices. But now we want to give an even better deal. Can you help us? No problem.
Yes, Monty. Now for only $6.99, you can get a complete T-bone dinner that includes the all-you-can-eat Fresh-Tastic food bar, and it's only at Bonanza restaurants.
Bonanza, you got a deal.
Don't forget, Monty, the 99-cent kids meal deal now at Bonanza.
Bone-crushing wrestling action Sunday at 12:30 on Channel 7.
ABC Sports presents live in its silver anniversary season, the Professional Bowlers Tour from the Boardwalk in Atlantic City. Our field of finalists will compete in the first annual $150,000 Showboat Atlantic City Open. In fifth place from Vidor, Texas, making his third championship appearance of the year, David Ozio. Adding an international flavor to our field, Venezuelan Amleto Monticelli, seeking his first PBA title. A win today would give Mike Edwards his first PBA championship. Tom Milton is going for his second championship of the year. He won the Miller Lite Championship 4 weeks ago. Tom Kreitz, 1985 Rookie of the Year, and this week's top qualifier will roll for his second PBA title. That's our championship field today on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this capacity crowd has come to a brand new 60-lane bowling facility valued at $6 million to see the first annual Showboat Atlantic City Open. We're so delighted to be here. I'm Chris Schenkel along with Nelson Burton Jr. I've been here for Miss America judging, for horse racing, for boxing, but the first time for bowling, and we are delighted. Today, the winner will get $27,000, an interesting field of 5. Our telecast will be followed by Wide World of Sports, where you'll have a chance to see, live except on the West Coast, the AMA Grand National Motorcycle Race, plus the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships, and there is more. Everything's new here. The surface, the pins, and Nelson Burton Jr., my colleague, is on the lane to tell you about the surface. Bo?
Thank you, Chris. And part of this $6 million bowling center is synthetic bowling lanes. And today we feature those in the championship rounds. They're very simply this. They have a core or a centerpiece made of a very, very sturdy particle board type center. And on top is a Formica type polyester top on there. And actually that's a picture of a bowling lane, or the boards are actually not there. So this is all synthetic. Now what the players have to work with today is very simply this. They have the option of playing the fourth arrow, the deep inside line, but the only trouble there is the carry's not very dependable. They don't strike every time they hit around the pocket. Or they can play the outside line, right around the first arrow. Now, Tom Milton decided to do that last night. David Ozio decided to do it. They made big charges. Now, the reason they can't play in the center of the lanes, when the PBA walked into this bowling establishment, it was only 4 days old. It takes about 2 months for the lanes to settle down. So today's players, they have to work from the deep inside line, Chris, or take a chance and go to the extreme outside. It's going to be very interesting. They're ready for action.
And that they are. This is David Ozio from Vidor, Texas, shaking the hand of his opponent, the fourth-placed bowler, Amleto Monticelli. Third appearance, 1986. This is a man that seems he gets on our telecast by tripling in the final frame, by coming from behind. This is his first shot. Well, with strokes like that, you will never have to come from behind. David Ozio, 3-time champion, is 10 years on the tour and looking for his first championship. Much overdue, believe me, in his 15th television appearance from Barranquilla, Venezuela, and Amleto Monticelli. Real stylist. Ball just didn't come up. Sleeper 8 out. 2-pin is still standing. Nelson?
Chris, Amleto, he qualified from the deep inside line I was talking about between the fourth and fifth arrows. And right before the championship, as you see a profile of his delivery, he decided to go right in between, which is, I think, is very tough. You see that low trajectory, the snap of that arm, and the very powerful ball of Amleto Monticelli.
Well, now, Listen to this capacity crowd. They are enthusiastic, and they'll react to anything, Bo.
Chris, the lane 4950, you're right, as they reacted to a near miss, is the championship here. And the two lines the players have to play are outside around the first arrow or around the fourth arrow. Monticelli's in between. I think he's going to have a little bit of trouble, but only time will tell. Let's see what happens on this shot.
In the pocket. We're in South New Jersey by the Atlantic, adjacent to the boardwalk, and this strike, this spot.
And Monticelli with that powerful bowling ball, as you see it, hardly deflects at all as it drives through the 1, 3, 5, and 8 pins. Now, here's Ozio's second frame, can take the lead with 2 strikes in a row.
Running it out, and he too had to smile as one of the spectators said, wow.
The solid 8. David Ozio is, you see his profile, he's just as smooth as you can be, a classic style. Look at the long slide, stays down with the shot, and he doesn't like this. Solid 8, should have been a strike.
We're in our first match, and if you just joined us, this is the Showboat Atlantic City Open. The winner of this match will meet Tulsa, Oklahoma's Pride and Joy, Mike Edwards, and then Tom Milton, and then our tournament leader, Tom Kreitz from Tampa, Florida. Leaving the 610 on the left lane, David Ozio.
Chris, David Ozio, as he quickly switches to another ball for spare, is a low friction ball. And we have a low friction surface out here. These brand new synthetic lanes don't allow the ball to wander too much, and it's easy to control. So he doesn't need as much help in spares this week as normal.
All right. Both bowlers continuing to mark now here in our very first game. 2 pins separating them, but Monticelli can increase his lead to 12 with a strike here in the 3rd frame. 25-year-old bachelor.
The Rod Stewart of the Professional Bowlers Tour.
There
All
you
the
go.
girls follow him around.
A 710 deserved that long, mean look.
What a bad break Monticelli gets as the ball comes in light into the pocket and drives the 5-pin straight back. Now watch the action of the 5-pin as it goes straight back. No action on the 7-pin, and he leaves a very difficult split. Just shooting one.
Here's a man that's had a lot of tough breaks. Earlier, we had an opportunity to ask him how he trains for bowling.
5 years ago when I came out, I used to run almost every day. Then I got tired and started running again. Felt better for my bowling. And every squad after I bowl, I go running, come back and eat. That's like the most important thing I can do in my day before I bowl.
He believes in skipping rope. He loves it.
Chris, he runs 8, 10, 15 miles a day.
Okay, after the open frame, strike in the 4th for Monticelli of Venezuela. We'll be back.
Anybody can see that Miller High Life looks darker and richer than the other leading premium. And the people at Miller showed me why.
This is where it all starts.
Now tell me about this.
This is barley.
I saw how barley becomes malt. What we have here is dark roasted barley malt. And the roasted malt Miller blends in to make their beer darker.
You really can't see the difference.
I learned a lot from these people. And if making a beer that's dark and rich is the American way, I'd say Miller's doing a pretty good job of it.
Heaven on earth.
Don't get him started about his car.
Hey, Pete, toss me the Quaker Steak. This new Quaker Steak with QSX is a miracle. It gives car-carrying people superior engine protection. Look at the sludge conventional motor oils leave behind. New Quaker Steak with QSX keeps your engine cleaner to last longer. And that means I might spend the rest of my life in heaven.
Warn you.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. After each wash, you need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
You're my dream.
And now, introducing Clean Start, the new cleaner which safely removes tough dirt. Clean Start, only from Armor All Products.
The brand new Showboat, Atlantic City, Ozio in the lead. He had a spare up, and he left the 2-5. Took the lead after his opponent, Amleto Monicelli, opened in the third frame.
Ball comes in light, Chris. The two-pin goes, the head pin goes to the sideboard and doesn't take out the 2-5, and so David stuck with a fairly difficult spare here to maintain his lead.
We asked Ozio if this would be a miracle winning today.
Well, being in 13th position with 8 games left, 200 out, is almost impossible to make up in a low-scoring condition. I elected to change speeds, go to a softer speed, swing the ball a little more from inside, and I managed to bowl well. And then with 3 games left, I saw Tom Milton playing out around the first arrow. In a do-or-die situation, I moved out, and, well, I'm here today. If I win today, it will be a miracle.
Okay. He leaves the 1-2-8 on the left lane.
And as if his ball continues to react like that, Chris, it will be a miracle. Obviously, he slides by the head pin here. The first 2 frames were good, but he's been a bit erratic in the last 3 shots.
Well done. It's almost a picture book way to cover 1-2-8.
Was perfect, and the players missed the head pin a lot here. The synthetic lanes, Chris, they haven't, as I said in the opening, haven't settled in. What that means is they just settle down, the dust from the building and all that. And so you have to play the extreme lines, either the deep inside angle towards the center of the lane or the extreme outside. Now, Monicelli, who trails by 5 with another strike, could take the lead.
All but the 10-pin on the right lead, the right lane, rather. His last television appearance, he was the tournament leader.
That was in Toledo. He bowled a very valiant game, a 230-222, and he lost to Randy Peterson, who turned red hot after that victory, winning last week in the Fairlanes. Randy finished 66th here this week in his bid to win 3 in a row.
Man who's finished second 5 times, and somewhere along the line, he's going to break that jinx. On this championship pair, he averaged 240 in the 2 times that he crossed the pair. Right now, he is trailing by 5, spare working, shooting in the 6th frame.
Tremendous wrist action on this young man. Dedicated athlete, great all-around athlete. Former international soccer player. Now, 6th frame, trails by 5.
88 to the 5th for strike up as Ozio ready to perform the 6th frame. Spare working, leading by 5.
Boy, oh boy, did Monicelli put the hurt on the 5-pin that time. Just ripped him out. It's got some pressure on Ozio. £3, 6 and 7 ounce pins being used this week. As you see, the ball of Ozio's coming in light, leaves the 10-pin. And once again, he grabs that low friction ball. He's quickly up on the approach across the lane for the 10.
Okay, 2 professionals that don't take a lot of time. Moving right along. And of course, we like that because to get our 4 games in, we only have a 90-minute television segment in which to do it.
Fingertip grip for Ozio. Spreads that index finger for control. Trails, leads by 4 pins, 7th frame.
There is Lisa Ozio, whose husband is in the lead by 4 pins.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
Save the clam.
What's with Wiley?
It's the Monroe Save the Clam sale. Buy Monroe shocks and struts now and save a pile of clams.
Great! More clams for the clam bake.
Clam bake? Nice going.
See your Monroe ride expert today.
When you buy a new lawnmower, you want to believe that each one will be the last you'll ever have to buy. But in time, it becomes painfully clear that not all lawnmowers are engineered to last. Knowing this, why would you settle for anything less than a Honda? Year after year, the right tool for mowing the lawn.
Motorcycling's best, pour it on live. Plus, Olympic and world champions compete for NCAA titles on ABC's Wide World of Sports next.
I'm glad to call this man my friend. Look at his credentials. 15-time world pocket billiard champion with his lovely wife, Flora. We're glad they're here, and if we have a chance, we'll try to chat with Mr. Mosconi. He has great affection for Monticelli. He has done pocket billiard exhibitions in Venezuela. Well, that's a pocket hit, and it's a big double. The lead switches. 6-pin lead now for the 25-year-old Venezuelan.
Chris, and kind of that catchy name that the professional bowlers have put upon the lanes, the synthetic lanes, is some of the players call them tabletops because they're so smooth. And as you see Monticelli from the back, watch this release. Boom! Just cuts that ball loose, drives through with the legs, and obviously drills all 10 pins. He has the lead for the first time in a match. Can extend that lead of 6 pins to 16 with a strike in the 8th.
All right, stringing 3 now. This is our first match. The winner to meet Mike Edwards. Now watch Ozio. He has the strike up, shooting in the 8th frame. This is sort of his cup of tea.
Ozio, a terrific bowler from behind. He caught Pete Weber in the final frames last night when he needed to qualify for the top 5.
Just did not come up. Not a solid hit at all. Slapping himself for it.
Ozio talking to himself. Watch the action of the head pin. It goes to the sideboard, and it doesn't quite get behind to take out the 2 pin. It takes the 5 out, though. Leaves David a very simple spare here, but he will still trail by 16 pins, and he can only blame himself for that shot. He didn't quite get the lift on the ball, so it didn't hook.
David Ozio and his wife Lisa and daughter Heather travel the tour in a lovely mobile home. What a facility here, the Showboat Hotel. And the casino measures the length of 2.5 football fields. Fortunately, I couldn't find it. I found only the lanes.
Here's Ozio, trails by 16 pins, 9th frame.
Well, he'll take that crossover strike, naturally.
What a great break. Ozio, he actually quit on the ball in the 8th frame, didn't come up, and here in the 9th frame, he tries to help the ball up to the pocket. The ball crosses over. He gets a good break. Now, this would be a good strike for a player like Dave Davis or somebody crossing over, being a southpaw, but for a right-hander, it's just a lucky break. Now, let's see how Amuleto Monticelli reacts to the great break that Ozio has gotten here in the 9th frame. He leads by 16, can extend that lead to 26 with a 4th consecutive strike.
Many in this capacity crowd are rooting for this 25-year-old.
You see the action of Monticelli's bowling ball. Very little deflection as drives through the 1, 3, 5, and 9 pins. Monticelli has the game in hand if he can just fill 15 pins here in the 10th frame, Chris. He's going at a 2:18 pace. The best Ozio can do is 2:12. Monticelli would shut him out with a strike right here. Fingertip grip. Big shot.
He 2 crosses over. A 5-pin.
Crosses all the way over. Doesn't get the strike like Ozio did on this left-hand lane, but he leaves himself the simplest spare in all of bowling. The kingpin, as they call it. They call the 5-pin that, and they call Chris Schenkel the kingpin. So, Chris, if he can knock your favorite pin over, he'll have the match won.
There it is. Okay, Amuleto Monticelli, who's had trouble going all the way from the tournament leader position. Well, he started out here first match as a number 4 finisher in a field of 160 where there were 24 left-handers. None was able to reach the 24 finalists.
Lefties have struggled a little bit this year, Chris, and if we get a little time, we'll talk about what has happened to most of the top left-handers on the professional bowlers tour. Winner.
Another one. This is the man that will move in against Tulsa's Mike Edwards, also 25 years of age. 2:15 for Monticelli. Ozio's score after we come back. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Seagram's Wine Coolers. Everyone a champion. By Quaker State Motor Oil. Quaker State people reaching for the best. And by True Value Hardware Stores. True Value, more than just a name. It's their way of doing business. The Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our local stations.
Mom's magic meatloaf is weighing on you like a ton of bricks. Send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue, because speed is what you need to lift the heaviness off your stomach and relieve your heartburn and pounding headache fast. So for fast relief, let the bubbles rise to the occasion. Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Try new extra strength Alka-Seltzer. More of what you take Alka-Seltzer for.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired.
No, I've checked the mileage, and it's...
Hey, we're the order line. We're guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto line.
But
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
On the Disney Sunday movie.
Bugatti, he's coming back.
And he's looking for someone special. Meet the bride of Bugatti Sunday.
Looks like it's time for Green Power, the long-lasting lawn fertilizer. Feeds for a thicker, greener, healthier lawn. Green Power from Green Youth.
Let's go window shopping at the Pella Window Store.
A lot of people sell replacement windows and doors, but Pella invented improvement windows and improvement doors. We invented the easiest windows to wash, a screen door that closes like that. And style?
Pella, 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 Pella.
So what would you rather have, a replacement or an improvement?
For improvement, windows and doors. Go window shopping at the Pella Window Store.
Call toll-free 1-800-23-PELLA for the location nearest you.
Stay healthy, Detroit, with Project Healthorama, now through April 16th. You'll get free health screening tests that could save you $150 in health care costs. Visit any Project Healthorama site and get a blood panel test. Test for vision, glaucoma, and more. For details, call 569-0606, weekdays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do it for your health.
Michigan's first in satellite news gathering, News Star 7.
The year 1981. Steve Cook thrilled the fans as he bowled a near-perfect game, 10 strikes in a row, to capture the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Carry ball. Come on, buddy.
Well, you heard 6'6" Steve talking. Now you can count them. 7 in a row. I think I've ever seen more powerful strikes. 10 of them. Just unbelievable. But for a 10-bagger, a standing ovation in bowling's most important championship. And the figures on our first match. 215 for the winner, Monticelli. Ozio 190, left to 2, and he left to 2-5. Monticelli now against Mike Edwards in this first annual Showboat Atlantic City Open, where we have a total of 150,000, 27, 14, 8, 6,500 in the loser of the match that just happened, 5,500 for Ozio. Handshake, Nelson, and here are a couple of 25-year-olds.
Right, Chris?
Winners.
You're right. Both need to qualify for the Firestone Tournament of Champions just 2 weeks away. And these are the last two real power players in the field. Our tournament leader, Tom Kreitz and Milton, roll a real soft, smooth hook. These players attack speed and power.
So it's an opening. Beautiful pocket hit by Monticelli. who had 6 strikes in his victory against Ozio. Now here he is, 6'1", 190 pounds. Mike Edwards from Tulsa, Oklahoma, has earned about $9,000 thus far this year. More important, he needs a win. That did a little Choctaw dance off the deck down there.
Chris, he has a great, powerful style. The young man who was a former high school football player, had a promising career before he had a knee injury, shows his style. Look how close he slides to the foul line, but the tremendous upper body strength. Bingo! Drives the 6 and the 10. He likes it. The match is even after 1 frame.
14th last week at the Fairlanes outside of Washington, D.C. And he left the 4-7 on the left lane. Well, let's watch the shot again in super slow-mo.
Watch the action of this pin right here, the 2-pin. The head pin is driven into the 2-pin, and the 2-pin will accelerate right over the top of the 4 and 7 pins, just a pinch high. If he was a little lighter, Chris, he'd have driven all 10 pins in the pin. Easy spare.
All right. For Mike, his last TV appearance was a year ago at the PBA Nationals in Toledo. Okay, Monticelli opening with the strike. Now in the 2nd frame. It looked like a high hit on the head pin, and it didn't matter.
Here's Monticelli by rounds, 18 games of qualifying. He started out very quick, 5th place, then up to 4th, then up to 1st place. Maintained the 1st place through the 1st play of match play Thursday evening in the 4th round. The 5th and 6th rounds just kind of hung in there. He qualified 4th. Right now he's shooting for the number 3 position as he's won the 1st match against David Ozio. And he looks like he's in the groove, Chris.
And a 10-pin on the left lane.
Watch the action of the 6-pin as it drives right up over the top of the 10-pin. Monticelli with a chance to take an early 20-pin lead is thwarted by the solid 10. If there's one drawback to this young man's game, it's his inability to convert spares consistently. Let's see what happens today.
Smooth as silk on that shot. The acoustics in here are just beautiful, and rightly so, because it's a brand new $6 million facility, all part of a $240 million hotel casino.
Fabulous Showboat in Atlantic City.
All right, Mike Edwards showing a lot of grit. In 1985, he left a 4-9 split. We've asked him if he has adjusted, recovered from that.
Oh, I went through a little slump there in 85 after the 4-9. It kind of got me down mentally. 86 was a little roller coaster year. I bowled good here and there, but this year I've really practiced harder, picked up my pace money-wise, and hopefully I'm going to snap one off today.
All right, on the left lane now. Okay, he pulled that one off, and it's the adrenaline starting to pump in the body of Mike Edwards against Monticelli. More after this.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
The Stanley Power Lock 2 is the rugged 20-foot measuring tape that's easy to take with you. It features a lifeguard blade, a power lock, and handy stud marking. In April, the Stanley Power Lock 2 is just $6.99 as the True Value Extra. Look for the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
True Value.
No, fellas. Look here, fellas. Let's do one for Mr. Seagram. Now, look here, Mr. Seagram. You sound like my kind of guy, yay. You make that? Seagram's golden wine cooler. And you make it wet and dry. my kind of guy.
My kind of guy.
Catch the McDonald's High School All-American basketball game on ABC Sports. You may learn some new moves. I may learn a few myself.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Here's a lovely shot of Joyce and Frank Modica. Frank, the president, chief exec here, who moved from Las Vegas, where he went 46 years ago from Jamestown, New York. He's quite an executive, a neat guy to know.
Super guy. Been a host of the Professional Bowlers Tour since 1961. All right, Monticelli trails by 1, fourth frame.
Oh!
What a break!
What a ball.
Watch the action of the head pin, Chris. It comes over here and does all sorts of damage over here in the left-hand corner. You'll see the 2-pin standing. The 4-pin looks like a tough spare. Backdoor shot.
He's going to love the Showboat if it keeps going like that.
Really, that's the first good break I've seen young Monticelli get in a number of years in the championship on TV. Let's see if he can take advantage of it. That's the most important thing on a tour. Take advantage of the breaks. He can lead by 9 with another strike.
Okay, in a seesaw battle, we're in our second game. The man that just struck defeated David Ozio in the first match, 215 to 190. Mike Edwards, who a frame or so ago told you about his 4-9 that he left at the Quaker State, was the tournament leader against Mike Durbin, losing 218 to 214. Now, double up, 5th frame. And a high hit has left him bat. 4, 7, 10.
A disappointed Mike Edwards, but he has to go for it. As you see from the deep inside line, both players are playing. Now watch where Edwards releases the ball. He comes through the ball very quickly. Slow motion. Throws the ball right over the 4th arrow. Leaves the 6, 7, 10 split. He grabs another ball now. He's quickly up. He's going for it.
Too much of the 6. So it's an open frame and a tough break for Mike Edwards in the 5th.
Mike Edwards, whose father is an electrical engineer, and his grandfather is his backer on the tour, Chris. His grandfather formerly in the grocery business. So they keep it all in the family. This young man keeps getting better and better. Both these players are bona fide winners without a title yet. So let's see what happens today. Maybe one of them will snare their first PBA title.
Good rebound for Mike Edwards, whose parents, Jim and Jean Edwards, back in Tulsa watching.
You want to see a perfect strike, just watch the ball of Mike Edwards. High revolutions, about 12 revolutions as the ball travels some 60 feet down to contact with the head pin. No doubt, as you said, Chris, he's bounced back from that awful 5th frame. But now Monticelli, with 2 strikes working, can extend his lead to 34 with an additional strike.
And he does just that. He looks about as powerful as anybody could possibly be, or anybody all week long. Wide World of Sports follows, and I know you like motorcycles. I know you like swimming.
You're right, Chris. I had good success with swimming in the Superstars. I have 4 motorcycles on the farm, and Bubba Showboat is the man to beat in the motorcycles. He has been one of the top riders for years, and of course Stanford, led by Matt Biondi, is always tough in the swimming.
Athlete of the Week award, interview with Frank Robinson, and an interview with the man that the architect of Sugar Ray Leonard's upset victory over Marvin Hagler. So now it's a 10-pin on the left lane for Monticelli, who had strung 3.
And once again, as we saw in the 3rd frame, Monticelli left a solid 10 in the 3rd. Here's the soft 10, as we call it. The 6-pin just slides around the 10-pin, never really making an effort to drive it out. Monticelli has not had any trouble with spares so far today, and when he can make his spares, he's got a great strike ball.
The Showboat in Atlantic City. Our second match with Monticelli leading by 33.
Imagine you were building a town. One company could supply you with almost any kind of truck to bring you almost anything you'd need. One company could lease, manage, and maintain a single truck or an entire fleet. One company could help get goods to stores, people to work, kids to school. That company is Ryder. We're more than yellow trucks. We help build towns, business by business, family by family, dream by dream. Ryder. We're there at every turn.
2 more stops in our silver anniversary year of the Professional Bowlers Tour. Windsor Locks, Connecticut, and the Nutmeg State, and then on to the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Nutmegs and Buckeyes coming up.
All right, Steve Cook, the big guy, defends his title in Hartford next week. And the great one, Marshall Holman, is the defending Firestone champion. Now, Mike Edwards trails by 33, strike working. Needs a strike to cut the lead of Monticelli to 23.
I know that brought his mom, Jean, right off the sofa in Tulsa. Here's a young man, 25 years old, very proud, extremely proud of his Choctaw and Cherokee ancestry.
Powders his thumb, puts a little rosin on the bowling ball. You must wipe that off. It's illegal to put anything on your bowling ball and have it come off on the lane, so it's just kind of a pre-shot habit of Mike Edwards. Now, in the 8th frame, if he can strike one more time, he will have Monticelli's lead down to just 13. Oh, yeah.
Gave it his best stroke. Gave it his best reaction at the line, too.
You're so right. He just reaches through that shot, a little extra follow through. He makes that ball set up in the pocket, drives all 10 pins back. Now it's 13-pin lead. Let's see how Monticelli responds. He's quickly up on the approach. His lead of 33 has been cut down to just 13 pins, 8th frame.
There he is. The youngsters on the tour, they're incredible.
Malacosta, one of the great champions out here on the Pro Bowlers Tour, said it so well when he watched Monticelli this week. He says, Bo, that Monticelli he just hurts that 5-pin when he hits light, and he hit it right in the face with that last one. All right, Monticelli going at a 2:28 pace, Edwards at a 2:15 pace. The match is up for grabs. Just 2 frames left.
What insurance for Monticelli. That strike in the 9th, doubling and putting his lead back to 23 pins. And with the double up here is Mike Edwards, shooting in the 9th frame. Tom Milton warming up to meet the winner.
Edwards in a must situation right here, has a potential 2:45. Monticelli going at a 2:38 pace, but this is the biggest shot of the match. 9th frame.
Sliding by, leaving the 2, 4, 5, 8.
The shot that Monticelli carried earlier in the match, Chris, the great break where the head pin went behind the 2-pin and knocked out the 2, 4, 5, and 8. Seems like it was the really pivotal point in this match now. At that time, Edwards had a chance for that same type of shot. Comes away with a very difficult spare, so it's been the luck of Monticelli so far that's been the difference.
All right. This was one of those days where Mike really wanted to excel.
Chris, he's bowled so well all week long, and he's been very aggressive. I see he's a little disconsolate with what's happened so far, but he still has a chance to win this match. If he can strike here in the 10th and 11th frames, he will force Monticelli to get a good count and a mark in the 10th. So it's not over yet.
Same problem, going by the pocket, leaving the 1, 2, 4. So it appears that The young man from Tulsa will have to settle for a check of $6,500.
He has looked so sharp all week long, Chris, and this is the time of the year to be peaking. We have the Hartford tournament, then the Firestone, and then the American Bowling Congress Masters tournament, which is a big tournament coming up, and the summer tour. Mike Edwards looks really sharp. He's at the top of his game. And next week being his last opportunity to qualify for the Firestone Tournament of Champions in Akron 2 weeks today. And Monticelli is in the same situation. He is not eligible, and he goes on here in the Showboat Atlantic City Open. All right, a 2:08 for Mike Edwards, Oklahoma, from Venezuela now. Double up, 10th frame. Won the first match, remember, over David Ozio, 215 to 190. Monticelli a possible 258 if he can strike 3 more times. That's a winner. Okay, the 3-6 stand as Monticelli has won 2. Needs to win 2 more to win his first title. He'll go against Tom Milton soon.
Enter the $50,000 Firestone Tournament of Champions sweepstakes, and you could win a trip to the Tournament of Champions.
Since January, thousands of bowling fans have entered our sweepstakes at their local Firestone Service Center. I'm Larry Lombardo, here with defending champion Marshall Holman, to announce the 5 sweepstakes winners who will be going to this year's Firestone, just 2 weeks from today. Marshall?
Thanks, Larry. From Rochester, Ron Kenyon. From Bloomington, Minnesota, Martha Jacobson. Rose Betcher of Middleton, Wisconsin. And from West Virginia, Willie Jones of Dunbar and Joe Devaney of St. Albans. Just before the final round of the Firestone, each will be teamed with one of the 5 qualifying pros. Depending on where their pro finishes, they could win up to $25,000 in cash of their own. I knew there was an easier way to make a buck at this game.
Thanks to all of you who entered our sweepstakes at your local Firestone Service Centers.
And may the best team win at the Firestone Tournament of Champions.
Time now for the Professional Bowlers Tour Tip of the Week. With an assist from Mark Roth, Nelson is going to further explain one of the rules of bowling. Watch and listen. You'll learn a lot. Okay. The Professional Bowlers Tour Tip of the Week is brought to you by Old Spice. Its subtle masculine fragrance is the classic scent of the American male.
Mark Roth is back to help us test your knowledge of the rules.
Hey, Bo, pretty good shot, huh?
Not too bad, Mark, but you hit a foreign object on the lane surface.
What's the difference?
Do you know what the ruling is?
What kind of man whistled the Old Spice tune?
He's my daddy. My practically perfect husband.
You can count on him.
He's the captain of my ship.
He's a friend.
The Old Spice man, a man's man.
Clean, refreshing Old Spice. It's the favorite scent of the American man, and he'll never change his tune.
And I love him for it.
Old Spice.
If you said that Mark Roth has to take that shot over, you are absolutely correct. American Bowling Congress rules state that if a bowling ball strikes a foreign object out on the lane, the shot must be taken over regardless of the resulting pinfall.
With 7 strikes, Emleto Monticelli winning his second game against Mike Edwards, 235 to 208. Time for that little feature of Ask Bo. Questions you can send in, and Bo, of course, will answer them. Today's question, Bo, is it illegal to practice on your league lanes before the start of league play?
And, Chris, here's the answer. According to the American Bowling Congress, the ruling body of bowling, it's not illegal to practice before any type of condition. However, a league, the secretaries or captain can make any type of rule they want prohibiting practice before the league play. So, obviously, you can do it if they allow it. And with me, Chris, is a man that has practiced a lot in his whole life, and the pro host here at the Showboat Lanes, one of the great champions of all time, Dick Weber.
Well, thank you very much, boys. It's a pleasure to be the host, pro bowling host here, and we have a lot of functions coming up here at Showboat Lanes. We have some coming up in June. Of course, our consultant, Frank Esposito, has the Boardwalk Classic coming up October, the High Roller in October. We'll have charity benefits coming here, and of course, more and more of our establishments across the United States are getting involved with the professional bowlers because they can be a help to the establishment with different functions, clinics, exhibitions, things like that.
One last question, Dick. Obviously, you and I learned to bowl on the wood surfaces. What do you think of the new synthetic lanes?
Well, I think it's a coming thing, Bo, and I think we're going to have to make our adjustments, you and I especially, to the condition. But I'm happy to see it's a cleaner operation. It's a very simple operation for the young bowlers that we have and our women bowlers, so I welcome it.
Well, okay, Chris, the adjustment for me is to throw a little harder on synthetic lanes, and the adjustment for Dick Weber is get a rocking chair instead of regular settee area. So they're ready for some matching.
Okay, a pair of guys that live in St. Louis now from St. Petersburg, Florida. Tom Milton will try to stop this man, and Leto Moncelli with 2 victories. 215 to 190 over Ozio, 235 to 208 over Mike Edwards. He has the first shot on the left lane of our semifinal match. The winner to meet Tom Kreitz. There he goes again. Let's see it again.
Monticelli, about 15 revolutions on the ball. That's real pro stuff on it. He puts the good pro move on the release, and the pins have no chance. And here's another man who really puts a great move on the ball just as he comes through. Tom Milton, a little bit different style. Soft, inside, medium speed, but he has a great carrying shot.
Look at it. Here's a man that won 3 titles from the very top spot when he was 3rd behind in money earned Earl Anthony and Marshall Holman.
Tom Milton has the short backswing, the medium speed, and obviously a great winning style, as we showed when he won the Miller Lite Championship just a few weeks ago. That short swing, deep knee bend, the pro move at the bottom with those legs driving through, the good wrist action, and obviously a strike on that shot.
Gets a re-rack on the left lane. He won as the tournament leader 4 weeks ago, the Miller Lite against Randy Lightfoot. Here he is, almost touching the ball return. Crossing over, leaving the 10.
Tom Milton using the same type of style and angle as he grabs another ball. He's up on the approach very quickly to convert the 10-pin that David Ozio used. He tries the extreme outside line. Chris, you can't blame him. Both Ozio and Milton floundered in the middle of the field all the way through the tournament, and then right near the end, gambled with the extreme outside line. It worked last night, but both players have struggled a little bit today.
All right. Striking a spare for Tom Milton of St. Petersburg, and strike in the first frame for Monticelli. He's on the right side now of our championship pair.
Very talented athlete. He was on a special school in Italy for the world-class type soccer players. He was a right forward and stuck with his bowling, though. Said he liked that a little more than the soccer.
And our linguist on the tour, Monticelli, does it. He does it every way you can think of. Look at him.
Boy, the adrenaline is
Maestro.
flowing. Yes, he is.
All right, money winners. Pete McCordick, the 300 king this year. Dal Ballard, United States Open. Pete Weber, who nearly made it, finished 7th. 2-time winner, back-to-back Peterson, and flamboyant Marshall Holman.
And here's where the players in the top 5 have finished. Obviously, Tom Kreitz, our tournament leader, could use a victory to increase his money winnings from 4,000. Now, here's Monticelli going for 3 in a row.
Well, in a town along the Atlantic Ocean, where games of chance are very prominent, just looked at Dick Weber, and Early, he has picked Monticelli to win it all today.
Right. There's no chance, though, when Monticelli throws the ball like that. That's lock sure that that's going to strike. Weber turned to us. He said, Monticelli's red hot. It's going to be hard to beat. But he's got two champions to beat, Tom Milton and Crichton.
And there's a 316 for Tom Milton, 31 years old.
Tom Milton with that soft speed, that extreme outside line, obviously taking a chance, makes a slight mistake to the left, leaves a difficult spare, the 3-6-10. He needs this to trail by 23 pins in the early going. Big trouble there.
3-6 off the 10 for Tom Milton. We asked him earlier about adjusting to the synthetic lanes here at the Showboat.
I don't feel like I have to do a whole lot different. I think the synthetics just suit my game pretty well because from where we've bowled over the years, it seems like the guys that throw the ball a little softer have had a better record on synthetics. Del Ballard won the U.S. Open. Tommy Baker's won in Denver. I won in Denver. Tommy Kreitz and myself are the top two this week, and we both throw the ball fairly soft. So I think it's the biggest key I can think of is ball speed and being able to play, you know, the angles it takes, either outside or far inside. It seems to be one or the other.
Like the true professional is, he bounced back after an open frame and a strike in the fourth, but he trails by 34. We'll be back.
You come to for everything you're looking for. Ace is the place that lends a helping hand. Ace is the place.
For Ace Best Buys, like 20 Ace heavy-duty trash bags for $2.49.
Ace is the place.
An Ace round point shovel for $2.99 after rebate. And Wells Lamont cowhide work gloves for $4.99 with free canvas gloves.
Ace is the place with the help of Hardware Man.
Ah, draft beer. It's always been the smoothest, freshest beer around, poured straight from the tap. And now, there's a true draft beer in a bottle. Miller Genuine Draft. It's not heat pasteurized like most bottled beers. It's cold filtered for real draft smoothness. Ask for Miller Genuine Draft. The Miller with the black label. It's beer at its best.
Get in the groove as bowling's best roll on down to the $140,000 Greater Hartford Open next Saturday on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour.
Obviously, proud is Joanne Denora, commissioner of the PBA, getting the second Showboat type tournament, and this one on the East Coast from Las Vegas to here.
Now, Monticelli, 3 strikes in a row, has won 2 matches already. This is a semifinal, leads by 34 pins, can extend to 44 pins, 4th frame.
Ten pin. This crowd wanted it all, as did the pro.
The action of the 6-pin. The solid 10, it would go up this way, but a soft 10, as we like to call it, the pin just dies, and watch what happens here, the soft 10. You see, it doesn't quite accelerate around and knock out the 10. Monticelli has not missed a spare today. With a conversion, he'd lead by 33.
Seemingly hurried a little bit.
Chris, you know what he does, and I'll coach from here. I like this young man as I do many of the young players, but he has given away so much money and with so much talent out there, and it's simply spares. You know what he tries to do? He tries to throw a straight ball on his spares, and he has such a natural hook release that half the time he hooks it and half the time he throws it straight. He should really maybe just try his hook ball and just throw it a little harder on spares and not mess around with his release. But he still has a 21-pin lead.
Hitting the 10-pin. And, Bo, I always remember what the tournament director, Harry Golden, and our coordinator, Frank Esposito, told me years ago. If you can bowl all spares in a game, you'll still shoot 190.
That's correct if you get good enough counts, but then again, we see Monticelli, if he had all spares to shoot at, Chris, I don't know if he'd get 190. Let's see how he does with this 10-pin.
Right.
This is the pin he missed in the fourth frame to open the gates.
They live dangerously in Barquisimeto, Venezuela. Dad's in the bowling business, Bo.
Yes, he owns one of the only bowling centers in Venezuela, as Tom Milton goes up to remove, and I'll tell you what that is, Chris. We had to move some there. We talked about the lane settling in as a little levity by Milton, throwing a piece of carpet aside. I guess if anybody's put carpet in their house, they have a little, we call them fuzz balls right on the top, and one drifted out on the lane. The averages for 1987. Holman with the lead, 218. Obviously, Richard Bramwell having a good year, and here's the top 10. David Ozio, who finished 5th in this tournament, 214. Del Ballard, 214. Also, our U.S. Open champion. To get in the top 20 this year, it takes a 213 average, about 5 pins higher than 1986.
Leaving a 6-pin, and Marshall Holman, the average leader. Let's see, he finished 9th in this tournament as we look at Darlene, Tom's wife.
Tom Milton looks like he's standing out on lane 51 as he creeps to the foul line, that short backswing, the extreme outside line right around the first. Actually, we should call it an arrow. It's not the 5th board here. It's just the 5th dart or feather, what you'd ever like to call it, that's impressed in the lane.
We're in Atlantic City, where ABC cameras have been often over the years, including the United States Ladies Open at the Atlantic City Country Club years ago. Lots of boxing. And, of course, for the first time, bowling today.
And I believe we'll come back many, many more times. The U.S. Open, the $500,000 Seagram's tournament, will be held here next year, Chris. So I'm sure the Showboat will put out a lot of money to the pro bowlers, and we'll have a lot more tournaments here. Now, Milton 6-frame trails by 21 pins. Spare up.
One sliding by and leaving the 1, 2, 4, 10. What a washout. Oof.
The washout, the ball just slides by the head pin and takes out all the pins over here in the right-hand corner. And for Tom Milton, he must get the head pin and drive it over into the 10-pin zone. There's no way you can let the ball deflect from the head pin over into the 10-pin. Not with a 16-pound bowling ball. It's very difficult. So Milton will start from the right side of the lane and try to get the ball to the left side of the head pin.
We got to see that again.
Perfect. Ball over here in the 1-2 zone. The head pin drives right into the 10-pin. Chalkboard type shot. Perfectly made by Milton, and he stays in the match. He only trails by 25. As you see, the carom shot. Your buddy Willie Mosconi would be happy with that, Chris.
Spare up. 6-frame Monticelli. Open with 3, then an open frame, a spare, and now a strike.
Amleto Monticelli, one of the great international players to come on the tour. Another player we've seen quite a bit of so far this year is Mats Carlson, who's having a fabulous year from Sweden. And I asked both of these players how many other young men are in the foreign countries over in Europe and South America, even Japan, ready to try the Professional Bowlers Tour, and they said, look out the next few years. So this may be a wave of things to come, the foreign players invading the PBA Tour.
Leaving the 6-10 on the left lane. The winner of this semifinal game will meet the tournament leader, Tom Kreitz of Tampa, Florida. One-time champion in his 5 years as a pro. You hear the pinfall. He's practicing off to our right.
Monticelli standing to the extreme left on lane 49, quickly going at the 6-10 to maintain a 25-pin lead.
All right, 25 pins for Monticelli. He's on top. We'll return.
Heaven on earth.
Don't get him started about his car.
Hey, Pete, toss me the Quaker State. This new Quaker State with QSX is a miracle. It gives car-carrying people superior engine protection. Look at the sludge conventional motor oils leave behind. New Quaker State with QSX keeps your engine cleaner to last longer. And that means I might spend the rest of my life in heaven. Warn you.
Eating on the runs got you tied in knots. Send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. Because speed is what you need to loosen the grip of your acid indigestion with a headache fast.
Alka-Seltzer to the rescue.
In North Carolina, Honda lawnmowers are assembled from the wheels up. Then the final critical step, the Clara Johnson test. If Clara pulls and it starts, it's a Honda.
Ship it.
Catch the McDonald's High School All-American basketball game on ABC Sports. You may learn some new moves. I may learn a few myself.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Anxiety on the face of Darlene Milton, whose husband Tom in the semifinal match, trailing by 25 with a spare-up shooting in the 7th frame.
Once again, Milton high on the right-hand lane, and Milton does not have that smooth Tom Milton delivery. He's taking a couple of steps and then lunging towards the foul line. Obviously, when you do that, you lose control of your arm swing. The ball wanders high. Milton not even close to the pocket except for 2 shots today so far. Trails by 27 pins. He, if he converts this, would have a potential 210 game. Monticelli going at a smooth 207, but Milton needs a lot of help. Tom Milton, a young man, I bowled an exhibition with him in 1983 at his home house, Chris, and all the kids in that area just idolize him. He spends a lot of time with the junior bowlers, and he's done a lot of good work in the St. Petersburg area. He himself, a junior bowler starting at the age of 12, had a job as a mover, working for a moving company before he tried the PBA tour, and has eventually worked himself in being one of the top stars.
Eighth frame strike for the tallest member of our field of 5 at 6 feet 3 inches. Speaking of that, tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 1 Central, the McDonald's All-American High School Championships. All the great senior high school basketball players from around the country. It's a game where people like Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Patrick Ewing played in. It's on ABC tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 1 Central.
And, of course, the motorcycle racing today. Now, Monticelli. The 4-pin just wandering high on the right-hand lane. Monticelli, after a quick start in this match, 3 solid strikes. Then he left that solid 10-pin in the 4th frame. And it seems to have taken the winds out of his sails as he struggled through the 5th. Got a straight in the 6th. 7th, he was wild high as 6-10. The 8th frame, the 4-pin. But he's maintained his lead of 26 pins through 8 frames.
Winner to meet Tom Kreitz. Technologically, everything newest in the entire bowling industry. Nelson, 60 lanes. Takes a little green stuff to put all this together.
That indeed, Chris. And really the synthetic lanes, there's some real bonuses with the synthetic lanes. Number one, there's no downtime for the proprietor, as we see Greg Saccone, our #1 cameraman's wife, enjoying the telecast here, a very beautiful lady. And going back to the lanes don't change as much as regular lanes. So once you're grooved, you can stay in the pocket.
Got some when they really count here this afternoon. The foundation strike, maintaining a 26-pin lead. But remember Milton now with a strike in the 8th, shooting in the 9th.
Do or die for Milton. He's going at a 180 pace, but has a potential 210. That's 4 more strikes in addition to the one he has working in the 8th. Monticelli just cruising at a 206 pace. So it behooves Milton to strike here in the 9th.
Leaving a 2-pin. spare.
And a little bit lost. You know, no matter whether they make them synthetic lanes or wood lanes or whatever they may make them out of, you still have to play the lane. He is playing too far outside. Monticelli obviously has the correct line, the deep inside line. He's reading the lane and just taking advantage of the mistakes of Tom Milton.
This is our semifinal game, and after the championship head-to-head match, Wide World of Sports, the AMA Grand National Championship Motorcycle Race, live, except on the West Coast, NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships, Athlete of the Week Award, and an interview with Frank Robinson, plus an interview with the man that engineered Sugar Ray Leonard's upset victory over Marvin Hagler. Wide World, next.
Now, Milton absolutely must strike. He cannot win if he doesn't strike. See you later, partner.
Yes, 310.
Just a top player, and this is really a good lesson to be learned from this. Tom Milton, one of the few players to push $100,000 in a single season out here, cannot defeat the lane. You must play the lane properly. He obviously opted for the outside line, but has struggled all the way through. It's a shame. The best he could shoot is 178. Monticelli cruising along at a better than 200 pace.
Look at that. Nice conversion.
Still makes no difference, Chris.
No.
Monticelli would only have to get one pin on 2 shots, so rest assured it's going to be Monticelli and Kreitz in the championship match. I'm sure Tom will try some sort of an experimental shot out here, maybe throw the great big hook all the way out to the edge, create a little excitement.
High hit, and then that. And a final score of 174. Well, Monticelli with his 3rd victory now going to the championship game. Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our local station.
Look at my watch, it was 9:31, so I called my dad and said, let's have some fun, and we rode.
Right now, it's rocket rebate time at your Honda motorcycle dealer, and that means it's time to roll up big savings. You can save $100 to $1,000 on selected models. Apply these savings to your down payment or get cash back from Honda. The choice is yours, but hurry. Honda's rocket rebate is good for a limited time only.
Rolling from the break of dawn.
Know what I'm doing? Feeding my lawn. You know what I'm doing now? I'm feeding my lawn. Yep, I'm still feeding my lawn. And look at my thick green lawn. It loves what it's eating. New Hyponex Lawn Fertilizer. Hyponex is higher in essential nutrients than the leading national brand. And its time-release formula keeps your lawn greener longer. Guaranteed. What am I doing now?
Feeding your lawn.
No, I'm feeding my dog.
Try new Hyponex lawn products today.
12 hours ago, this woman was a suburban housewife.
Ann's a spy.
Why don't you stay?
Where is my wife?
Kate Capshaw in Her Secret Life Sunday.
Looks like it's time for Green Power, the long-lasting lawn fertilizer. Feeds for a thicker, greener, healthier lawn. Green Power from Green Youth.
Hey, bartender. Yeah, what'll it be? Just ask me, what do you have? What'll you have? Bobbin flavor. What'll you have? Bobbin flavor. Give me a pass. Blue ribbon, pass blue ribbon beer. Rockin' taste is what I favor. True blue taste is what I savor. Give me a pass. Blue ribbon, pass blue ribbon beer. You know what we like.
Stay healthy, Detroit, with Project Healthorama now through April 16th. You'll get free health screening tests that could save you $150 in health care costs. Visit any Project Healthorama site and get a blood panel test, test for vision, glaucoma, and more. For details, call 569-0606, weekdays, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do it for your health.
Bone-crushing wrestling action Sunday at 12:30 on Channel 7.
And in our stepladder format, you see the name Monticelli. Prominent. Now he goes against the tournament leader, Tom Kreitz. Monticelli looking for his first win. Kreitz his second. Bo?
And obviously, we had a great field here. Some of the other top finishers in the top 24. Kent Wagner narrowly missing. Pete Weber right up there. His dad's a pro here. Ted Hannes, who has twin babies a good week. Holman up there, McCordick with his 300. Former Masters champion Frank Ellenberg, Tommy Baker, Art Trask coming out of the slump. Skidmore back on a tour. Joe Berardi, his parents were down watching him. David Houston expecting their first child pretty soon. Another St. Louis, and Ron Williams, the powerful Mark Fay, the perfect game here in town. Wonderlic up there. Tommy Kress says hi to his mom, Grace, and of course his wife is over there. Joanne was coming down. Dead Eyes up there, McCurr, and Dave Ferraro had to drop out to let Walter Ray Williams fill in the top 24. We had a field size of 160 players, a 197 average, kind of low, but we'll find that much higher when we come here next year. Average to make the top 24, 206 to cash, 201. One of the other top cashers in there, Storm DeVincent, stole out a big check of $1,100, and the last spot in the cash was caught by Norm Duke, who picked up $1,040 with a 201 average.
Not a seat to be had here in the new Showboat Lanes. In an adjacent room, the Mississippi room, there are about 1,000 that wanted to get in here watching on large screen television. We hope they're comfortable.
And Chris, as we watch him throw the last few shadow balls, we wondered why the left-handers struggled so much on the PBA Tour. I think there's two reasons. Number one, we've had a great batch of right-handers come out on the tour, and they've kind of supplanted some of the left-handed talent that is not out here like it used to be. Dave Davis doesn't play all the time. Petraglia is not around all the time. Earl Anthony is retired. And the second reason is the new bowling balls, Chris. They're a little more powerful. The players have a lot more bowling balls to choose from, and obviously I think it's helped the right-handers and made the lefties struggle.
There's your tournament leader that is greeted.
That is this final shadow ball, Chris.
Okay.
The tournament leader gets 10 practice balls before we go on the air. So Monticelli will start the match. And finally, to finish up that left-handed situation, Chris, the short oil rule of the American Bowling Congress, where they can only carry the oil down. A proprietor has to opt to 26 feet. Starting August 1st, 1987, will be 24 feet. I think have all affected the left-handed players. They haven't been shut out, but they've struggled a little bit. Now, here's two righties shooting for the championship.
He is very consistent in the first frame. This is his fourth game of the afternoon, banging through with a strike. And Tom Kreitz now, that six-footer from Tampa, Florida, 1985 Rookie of the Year. Very, very serious. Little expression.
1986, he won the PBA National Championship and $49,000, the Toledo Trust Championship. Here he's shooting for his second PBA title.
So he is left with a six-pin.
A little bit tentative on the first shot, as you see Tom Kreitz. A four-step delivery as opposed to mostly five-step delivery. And the one drawback to the four-step delivery is that you don't have quite the speed control. You can't throw as hard as some of the five-steppers. Obviously, the deep inside line. Look at the slide of the left foot, almost in the left channel.
Okay, the 86 national champion, Tom Kreitz. The 87 national champion, Randy Peterson, finished 66th here. And a pro that was on our telecast last week, Butch Soper, finished 68th. Wayne Webb, 75th. Don Janello, 71st. Bo, are you going to bowl in the final two events on our winter tour?
Bo Burton's schedule, as you look at Tom Kreitz, Chris, I'll be up there in Hartford. It's a tournament I had the good fortune of winning twice. Then on to take about my 21st crack at the Firestone. I've never been victorious there. Then on to the Masters tournament in Niagara Falls the 1st of May.
All right, Tom Kreitz marking with a spare. Strike in the second frame as Monticello is up.
Tom Kreitz a little bit nervous, a little tentative on his first shot. Goes high. Now the second frame, he trips out to 4. He has a very soft speed. It works very well on the high hits from that inside line. That's how he got there. Now, let's see if Amoletto Monticelli, who's never been to the winner's circle, will be aggressive in the early going as he has been in his first 3 matches.
All right, with that double, the man that has lost from the tournament leader spot is coming now from way back. Can he do it from way back instead of having tried in the past from the top spot?
I think that's a good point, Chris. He seems to have gained momentum as And all of us have said he's a well-trained athlete, always runs, top shape, really no vices. I think once he gets that motor running, the momentum, I think he has a better chance, and obviously he's done so well today. Now here's a big shot, third frame.
And now look at the 4, 6, 7, 10.
Goodbye, the middle of the pins, and stand up the 4, 6, 7, 10. Amleto Monicelli, obviously kind of looking forward to the 10th frame, but it's early to be looking at a title. Opens the door up for Tommy Kreitz. Kreitz will have the lead sitting on the bench.
And he did knock down the 4, 7.
Now Tommy Kreitz loves that deep inside line, medium speed, 4-step delivery. Carefully sets himself, has an 8-pin lead, can extend to 18 with a strike in the third.
Leaving a 4-pin, the man that had a match play record of 20 victories, 4 losses. He threatened George Pappas's record.
Yes, he did, Chris. Pappas, the best 24-game record, 22-2, set at the King Louis Open 1972, and you see the leaders by round. 18 games of qualifying. Columbia out to a quick start. Ted Hanna's Monicelli led the 18-game qualifying round. Then in the match play, Monicelli in early lead. Then Kreitz took over the field, as you said, winning 20 out of 24 games.
Puts the loft out onto the synthetic surface for Tom Kreitz. We asked him earlier that he seems to do well playing the inside line.
I do quite a few things naturally in my game that helps me bowl better whenever I play inside. My swing kind of gets behind my back a little bit. My timing's a little late. I get the ball to flip, and I throw the ball pretty soft, which allows me to carry a little bit better than most of the guys. So just what I do naturally.
Chris, the players that drop the ball behind their back are always good inside players. If their swing comes away from their body, they're usually good outside players. So you can tell a guy's favorite angle by watching his style.
Getting his second strike now in 4 frames for the championship and $27,000, Tom Kreitz, leading by 8.
Save the clam.
What's with Wiley?
It's the Monroe Save the Clam sale. Buy Monroe shocks and struts now and save a pile of clams.
Great. More clams for the clam bake.
Clam bake? Nice going.
See your Monroe ride expert today?
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave sets up my beard, so my shaver shaves closer, and I get a smoother shave. Listen to Williams Electric Shave. The sound of a closer, smoother shave.
There are many ways to end the paperwork overload. You can blow it off, dump it on someone else, or blow it away for good. But the best solution is Radio Shack's high-speed, high-capacity Tandy 1000 SX. It's PC compatible and comes with a monitor and a 20-megabyte hard disk that stores over 5,000 pages of information. The highly acclaimed Tandy 1000 SX, a complete hard disk system for only $15.99 at Radio Shack.
Monicelli with a strike in the 5th frame. Robber away. He had a strike in the 4th as well, following an open. So he has a double up and making a great showing here against the tournament leader, Tom Kreitz, who has a strike up. He'll be shooting in the 5th frame.
Tommy Kreitz, who spent a lot of time in the regional program, and that's the 7 regionals, 7 areas of the country that the PBA has what we call satellite tournaments. He won over $11,000 in 1984 before opting to come out on the professional bowlers tour. So that's where a young man should get his experience. You bowl those on weekends, you can still go to school or commit to a job.
Big one. All this is the brand new Atlantic City Showboat Lanes. Al Hoff and his staff, including Pat Mathis, deserve a lot of credit for getting things smoothed out.
The momentum of Tommy Kreitz starts 38th after 6 games, jumps to 4th, then up to 11th, 3rd, and then, as Chris alluded to, he had a tremendous match game play record in the 4th, 5th, and 6th matches, winning 24 and only losing 4. He won his first 15 out of 16 matches, opened up almost an insurmountable lead, and now he bowls for the title, has a 8-pin advantage over Amleto Monicelli through 5 frames. Both players have 2 strikes working.
We noticed that this is a championship game. They're slowing down their pace, their preparation. Can't blame them, can you?
No, Kreitz a 7-year exemption to the Firestone. Monicelli still doesn't know where Akron is.
All right. Stringing 3 now. Kreitz, the tournament leader. And the Monicelli fans now off to our right are trying to inspire this Venezuelan. Up to now, he hasn't needed it. 3 victories.
Tremendous performance. Just forget the bad frames. Let that powerful ball and those tremendous athletic instincts take over.
Matching Kreitz turkey is Monicelli. Look at it.
The man who releases the bowling ball like you'd start a lawnmower just cuts it loose in that shot, cuts the lead of Tommy Kreitz down to 8 pins. It's back and forth here in the championship match. Monicelli can retake the lead with a 4th strike in a row here at 7th frame.
He has had the rude awakening twice. 4, 6, 7, 10, and now the 7, 10. Ooh.
Unbelievable. Monicelli just in critical situations. Watch the action of this pin right here, the 5 pin. Normally it'll go straight over to the 7. Monicelli's power drives it straight back. Just a horrible break at a critical time. See the 5 pin slide back? Monicelli with his power should at least get 9 on that every time. He's in real trouble now. You just can't practice luck in critical situations. An old saying, luck favors the well-prepared. Well, young man Monicelli is well-prepared, but he has had nothing really happen good to him in championship round play. Yet the match is not over. Kreitz still only has a 22-pin lead.
Make it a 4-bagger for Tom Kreitz. Waiting all the time while Monicelli was winning 3 games. He's come in here to bowl 1 head-to-head match, trying for the title.
And he's in the driver's seat right now. The man he would be saving in the Firestone, the man who's 52nd, as you look at Kreitz after throwing this 4th consecutive strike to open a 32-pin lead, reacts. He likes it. The man he'd be saving will be Dennis Jakes, the big, powerful guy. He's sitting on the bubble, 52nd place at the Firestone. There's a man who's saying, what must I have to do to win a title? Now Kreitz, with 1 more strike, would extend to 42.
Leaving the 2-4-5.
And it may be very subtle, but the action of the 7-pin falling down instead of leaving the 2, 4, 5, and 7 can be a big part of this game. The 2, 4, 5, and 7 is twice as hard to convert as the 2, 4, 5. Kreitz fingertip grip. Carefully sets himself, throws a hard, straight shot, at least hard for him, at choppable spares such as this. Trouble.
There it is. What a prediction, Bo. That 4 is gone, but the 2-5 and Monicelli asking for a re-rack on the right lane. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back.
When you want the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer, ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the green label.
Green?
Just kidding, guys. Ask for Miller Genuine Draft, the Miller with the black label.
Not funny.
Only you
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. After each wash, you need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
You're my dream.
And now, introducing Clean Start, the new cleaner which safely removes tough dirt. Clean Start, only from Armor All products.
There's a plan for building a house. You should have a plan for moving out of one. That's why Ryder gives you our Move It Yourself guide.
Mom, look what I found. Oh, my
It helps you handle every step, from picking the best truck, to packing your lamps, to shutting off the power.
Got a spot for this?
What's that?
Here.
Ryder, we're there at every turn.
When you want the rich, smooth, fresh taste of real draft beer in a can, ask for Miller Genuine Draft. The Miller with the black label. It's beer at its best.
Motorcycling's best pour it on live. Plus, Olympic and world champions compete for NCAA titles on ABC's Wide World of Sports next.
When we left, this man in the yellow shirt, Tom Cripes, had an open 7th frame. Because we're running behind our time schedule, the 8th frame, his opponent, Monticelli, left it to made his spare. Then in the foundation 9th frame, a big strike. Here is Kreitz now, after an open in the 9th with a 15-pin lead.
Watch this shot. You talk about a great break. Watch the action of the 3-pin. It goes between the 6 and 10 pins, carries out a strike, and just a tremendously critical situation for another young man, Tom Kreitz. What that sets up for Kreitz is a possibility of locking up the tournament with this strike. If he does not strike, Monticelli can get up in the 10th frame and win it with 2 more strikes. What a tremendous recovery. Tommy Kreitz had the tournament in hand coming up in the 8th frame. He throws a 2-4-5, completely loses his spare shot and opens the door for Monticelli, loses a shot in the 9th, gets a great break, and then gathers all his wits, all his thinking, and throws it just a tremendous shot here in the 10th to potentially lock up the tournament. He'll be in the 220s. The best Monticelli can do is 218. A little experience there.
True grit performance by Tommy Kreitz of Tampa, Florida, one of the 2 Floridians in our field today. And Monticelli, who has to be content with his 6th time finishing 2nd. Well, that's bowling. That's why you join us every week, and we appreciate it. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Firestone, for car services done right the first time. By Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft smoothness. It's beer at its best. And by Ryder, we're there at every turn. Okay, there's the man with the trophy. We're running out of time. Frank Modica, the president CEO here, giving Kreitz his 2nd victory, the trophy symbolic, $27,000. He shot a 232. We don't have the final score yet on Monticelli. But it's a big number 2 win, and the 6th time this man in the black shirt finished 2nd. See you next week. All right, coming up next, ABC's Wide World of Sports featuring the MA Grand National Motorcycle Race live except on the West Coast, plus National titles are on the line at the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships. Also, the Athlete of the Week Award. It's all coming up next on ABC Sports. This is Chris Schenkel, along with Bo Burton Jr., saying so long from Atlantic City. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports. The final score, Kreitz 230T, Monticelli 218. See you next week.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC Sports by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies. What